My mornings growing up in Nebraska. Hi, this is Language Learning Report Card Podcast. I'm Vicki Kelty. I teach English online, focusing on speaking. Today, I want you to talk about what your mornings were like growing up. I'll get us started by telling you a little bit about my mornings in Nebraska as a child. So, I didn't have to wake up too early when I was in grade school. And I didn't have to worry about an alarm clock at all because, hello, that's what your parents are for, right? So I do not remember ever having an alarm clock as a child. Maybe I did, but I doubt it. And I woke up probably very begrudgingly because I am not a morning person at all. And man, I feel like they make us wake up so early for school. And maybe, I don't know, it's just early. It's too early for me. Luckily, my breakfast was super duper easy. I just popped a Pop Tart in the toaster so that I could eat it on the run. Even now, I will do that for breakfast. If I have somewhere to be, I would much rather just take a piece of toast or take a granola bar and eat on the run if it means that I get to sleep more. Do you feel this? Like, does anybody else relate to this? I actually would get dressed before I had breakfast though, so that I could just grab the Pop Tart and get on the road. When I say get on the road, I mean get on the road with my two little feet because we did not drive to school. It wasn't that far away. So walking was fine, but I'll get to that. So, yeah, I got dressed before I went to breakfast. And I guess I shouldn't say went to breakfast, before I went to grab my breakfast and run out the door. I don't remember planning my clothes beforehand, but I don't know, maybe I did. It doesn't sound like me, so I'm going to guess that I did not plan my outfits in advance. I probably just snagged something out of the closet and ta-da, that was my outfit for the day. Nothing fancy. Sometimes I got obsessed with certain outfits, and so I would wear them on repeat. And that is how cool I was. So, yeah, relatable. Yes, you did that too. Awesome. I'm glad. Another thing that I probably didn't do as a child was to make the bed. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. It is another mystery that will remain unsolved. Okay, my parents probably know, but we're not going to ask them. We're just going to assume that I did, that I, of course, made my bed because I was such a little angel who would do all of her chores after school, of course, and always wanted to help out with cleaning. Who doesn't want to help out with the cleaning? So, yes, I definitely made my bed. I'm thinking back now and I remember I totally made my bed. Yep, every day. For sure. No doubt about it. Well, if I did make my bed, I'm sure that it was in this like haphazard fashion that probably doesn't qualify as actually making the bed, but potato, potato. I didn't have any pets growing up, so I never had to worry about feeding or playing with my cats like I do nowadays. But when I was a child, I adored letting the neighbors' cats come and visit. So we had just a lot of cats in the neighborhood that were indoor outdoor cats. And so when the neighbors would let them roam around, they would come visit other neighbors. And I let them inside, and other neighbors would let them inside if they were cat lovers too. The downside of this bad habit, I call it a bad habit because my mom has allergies. So she was not the biggest fan of my habit of letting the cats in. But I really thought that it was the best thing ever to let the cats come in and cuddle and wander around our house until they wanted to go back to their homes. They didn't really, they they basically just liked to come into our house for a moment, maybe take a nap, and then leave because I never gave them food. I just wanted to hang out with them and didn't consider the fact that they probably just wanted little treats. And we didn't have cat treats. We probably had food in our fridge that they could eat, but I didn't know what food a cat ate. So, yeah, they never drank the milk I gave them. Who knew that they wouldn't like it? Crazy. And now we get to what I mentioned before about going to school. So I walked to school because this was before online classes, not like what I do now. There was no going to the other room and logging into a computer and ta-da, you're in class. Nope, that didn't happen. So I walked to school and it was either walking with my sister, walking with a friend. And if I didn't have either of those things to accompany me, then I would just take a good book. I would read and walk. I was a multitasker from birth. I also rode my bike sometimes, but not a ton. I have never been big on biking places. So that was mostly when I was in a rush or yeah, pretty much just when I was in a rush, which to be fair, I was in a rush most of the time, but only because I don't like to wake up early and I have no sense of time. And so it took me longer than I intended to braid my hair or put in some curls or something that I thought was going to be like 2 minutes and it ended up being 20 minutes. And then I was like, I need to run to school now so I'm not late for my whatever music class or homeroom, whatever I had first, probably homeroom. And the best part about biking to school, though, is that sometimes I had to figure out how to put my violin or my clarinet onto the back of my bike. We had this little contraption that you could strap the violin or my clarinet to, and it was a little bit of a balancing act and it was quite funny. I would love to see pictures of me on my bicycle with my clarinet or violin strapped to the back because those were those were the tricky days for sure. And the bike helmet. I know that there are tons of people who don't wear helmets when they bike, but I tried to always wear my helmet. And I say tried because actually the problem was more getting the helmet off than it was getting the helmet on. I had no problem getting my helmet on, but so the problem was that the strap on the helmet sometimes would get stuck and then I couldn't get it back off. And that was a big reason that I did not like wearing my helmet. I didn't care as much that my hair looked absolutely horrendous after taking it off. It was more that I just couldn't even get the helmet off. And it was a little awkward having to go to your teacher to ask for help to get your helmet off every time you rode your bike. So that is, in a nutshell, my mornings growing up in Nebraska, trying to head off to grade school and not be late. What about you? What were your mornings like growing up? Tell me everything. Before we go, don't forget to do your self eval. How comfy do you feel about talking about your mornings growing up? Satisfactory or development needed? Whichever feels more comfy for you, use that answer to decide to listen to this episode again or head off and listen to another one. Maybe the same level, maybe a different one. Remember, you can find more listening practice anytime right here at VickiKelty.com. That's all from me.